Grief is something I wish I didn't know about. I wish no one had to know it or come to know it. Sadly, it is an inescapable part of life. I have been very vocal about losing my dad to cancer in 2022, and largely is what caused me to talk about video game music. And I try to live my life more fully because of that loss. So it was an odd turn of events when I got to play Dvorak in Genshin Impact during the storyline that I couldn't have related to more. It's been some time since Lantern Rite 2023, and honestly, I think about Street Rambler and Guizhong, no exaggeration, nearly every day. My dad and I were best friends. We'd often sit and pontificate over the complexities of life, the shades of gray. He'd offer music advice and would ask me for my advice. After all, his son was a professional while he was an avid, almost professional musician. Meanwhile, Street Rambler and Guizhong were both avid musicians who enjoyed a rousing debate over the complexities of existence, time, and the power of music. I should mention that this isn't the first time that Genshin very honorably and respectfully has brought up the feelings that grief can accompany. We see it when A speaks of her sister, her motivations for eternity. We see it in that incredibly painful cutscene during the Chasm story quest. I'll limit my discussion on that in case of getting too spoilery, but while these are just two examples of many I'm sure that I've missed, as far as I can tell, the subject of grief and music has only appeared in this corner during Lantern Rite 2023 with Madame Ping and Guizhong. Madame Ping, the mysterious woman who rescues Dvorak's ancestor, says, "The fact that this story has survived this long at all, when mortal lives are so very brief." It speaks to a few things that give me pause. For one, we know that songs are sung about the Lady of the Lake and have survived countless years now. By the way, this is a Rizolka reference. Anyway, human lives are short, and despite that shortness, they are still somehow able to make things like music that in a way makes them eternal. Look around. Look at a symphony billboard or an opera house. What do you see? Music from hundreds of years ago. Composers long gone, their mortal lives so brief, and yet their music in these stories have survived this long. Why is that? Why are we still talking about and feeling this music all this time later? It's interesting. Have you ever been to a live performance that you've heard countless times on your Spotify playlist? You get there, but you can't rewind the best bit, the climax of the piece. In a way, the moment is incredible, but in another way, it's kind of sad, no? All we will ever know is impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Mortal lives are so very brief. Thankfully, we have phones and all this other stuff that allows us to relive experiences, new game pluses, so on. But if we didn't have that, we'd have to deal with knowing that all we have is the moment in our briefness. We go on in this dialogue with these lines. Madame Ping says, "No matter how much time goes by, the moment that melody starts playing, it transports me right back to that time in my memory." Ganyu says, "So the past still weighs heavily on your heart." Madame Ping says, "I would be lying to myself if I claimed to have completely moved on." But that is not to say that grief doesn't get easier with time. She continues on to say that despite the sadness, I have found many things that bring me joy in life. It is simply the nature of the world in which we live in that even if one wished to mourn for an eternity, it would be a nigh impossible feat. She finishes her thoughts with, "When the time comes, wherever her spirit may be among the countless grains of sand and specks of dust between the harbor and the mountains, perhaps she will look at the Liyue of today and steal a smile when she sees the prosperous land that it has become." That encapsulates what grief is, what it feels like. As time moves, we grow, we age, we worry that those that have moved on wouldn't remember us, but that's an impossibility. Wherever they are, they will always know us, and we should continue to evolve the songs they taught us when they steal a smile at how prosperous we have become. I know my dad would anyway. Music lasts forever. It's one of the few things in life that are capable of lasting, especially thanks to modern technology. Go listen to your favorite song, and when it's done, turn it off. Let the waves of it wash over you. Dance with the mortal and the immortal. Thanks for watching.